so that when they get to bracket play, it's already gone, it's already done. They can just focus on what they're best at.
And you speak about, you know, how SSG, Optic, FaZe, they can win a championship, win a tournament at any point. I think something that's indicative is how close the talent, the quality is between these teams. Is any single time a talent prediction is put out and we're predicting one team, people get on our back straight away and say, you don't really know ball, Optic are winning this, SSG are winning this, and they very quickly let us know.
They do let us know, and well, there's only one way to find out, is by getting into the tournament. I thought FaZe were going to win the previous tournament, but then SSG take it, for example, and then I predict FaZe to get the next one, and then suddenly we see the likes of Optic Gaming turn up. Like, it is back and forth every now and then here in Halo Infinite, but maybe we're going to see some dominance from FaZe once more.
Shields up, weapons hot. This time we're rocking and rolling, and the score appears to be 0-0.
Yeah, no extra flag on either side this time, but are we going to see any early pulls or any early control from either team? FaZe certainly looking to try and take top middle straight away to assert some dominance.
What has Frosty got? Checking the bonfire, nothing doing. SnakeBite with the overshield. RyaNoob's in trouble already, backing it away, and SnakeBite not even interested in finishing the kill. Happy to know his teammates are in support, moving the flag. Renegade gets a kill onto Huss, and as quick as you like, the flag's already over the halfway point.
Oh, it doesn't quite survive. It would have been big if he got around that corner, but is there any support from the rest of the team? It is a heavy commitment from FaZe for that flag, so there's going to be a little bit of map control that is given up for the run, but if Royal 2 can hit a shot here, it could just allow them to get all the way home. And I'm unsure at the moment if they're even going to be able to get a touch. Yes, they will. Frosty manages to get the touch, and now they have a real opportunity at 1-0.
They have a man advantage as well, and still have a sniper rifle on the map that can have an influence. RyaNoob soaring off the map. You've got to stay within the bounds of the map, Dan.
I've heard of sneaky routes, but that one is not the sneakiest. I don't think you can get back up from down there.
I think he was playing Mario Kart shortcuts, so I don't know what he was looking for down there. The map can be deceiving at times, and we spoke about unorthodox routes, and that's exactly what RyaNoob tried to take, but unfortunately, he falls off the map. Now, FaZe's flag is out here, so they're going to have to perform a little bit of maintenance before they can punch this one in. SnakeBite hands it off to a teammate, continues to put down damage. And as he tiptoes over towards the flag, Breakingshot can't even have an influence. The flag gets sent home, and this one should and will get punched in for a 1-0 lead for FaZe Clan.
A nice early lead for FaZe to kind of calm down any jitters, if there were any, but I don't think there are ever any nerves on the side of FaZe Clan when they get onto main stage. But the hometown heroes have an early lead, and now Complexity need to find a way to get back into this game. Already, there is a significant difference in slays as well. 14-8 in favor of FaZe Clan, and it's an overshield as well for the General himself.
Thought about pushing the snipe streak, got communications that the player needed help, and he came and provided just that. SnakeBite services are for rent. Perhaps maybe he'll be looking at some coaching lessons when he gets home, but one thing we do know is he has work to do here with the overshield. A little bit left. Melee didn't come through, and SnakeBite gets pretty clean, easy double kill for him. Looking to pull the second flag of the game, and it's on the move with 4 dead for a moment for Complexity.
Yeah, 4 dead. This should be a comfortable run for SnakeBite as well. And you can see how well he was listening to the rest of the team. Not only was the team communicating successfully, but SnakeBite head on a swivel, turning to look at every single one-shot, every single weak player. And now it's just a case of hammering this one home, and it's a 2-0 lead for FaZe. Complexity just not able to stop the overshield pushes that have come in so far.
Well, 4 dead again for Complexity. And FaZe Clan mean business. Wes talked about having dinner plans and Royal 2 over slaying, but perhaps the FaZe boys have some dinner plans of their own.
I think they got it out of their system against Ascending Baseline. I think that they have that one game in pool play where they do excessively slay. They almost use it as a warm-up against some squads, and it will be against that lesser team that they face. Ooh. And I said Frosty's been hot so far today with a sniper rifle, and he's looking pretty good in this game too.
Those wigs do be a wobbling. Hold on to your hats. RyaNoob over towards the snipe put. Frosty could be about to find him. Trying to get the counter snipe. RyaNoob answers back and hits the face of his own. Jiggle peek and try to clean up onto Renegade. Cannot do so. That sniper rifle will fall. Huss is there, and this is the opportunity. This is the moment for Complexity to go if they're going to.
And answers the question as well. Can anyone answer back with the sniper rifle against the likes of Frosty? Well, RyaNoob did just that, but one thing Renegade did successfully is as soon as he sees where that sniper rifle bullets come from, he beelined right towards them to ensure that sniper rifle will be shut down instantly. And FaZe Clan still holding on to a lot of control of this map. You can see Complexity forced back into spawn. It's another overshield. It's going to be another push. It might well just be another cap.
Just how clinical FaZe Clan are when they have the advantages. When they have things like overshield and sniper rifles, they really make you pay. This flag's being pulled out again. This time, Renegade's going to be one tasked to bring it home. 3 dead for a moment once more for Complexity, and they might be thinking this is Groundhog Day.
Start to chalk this one up unless there's an overextender for Complexity. This is going to be game, and it has been flawless from FaZe Clan.
Renegade taking some damage. Still trying to push it home, trying to force it home. He will fall short though. Frosty's got the sniper rifle, playing this one patiently. Trying to clean up any players not getting the information that he needs then. Rayne is there to try and get the return. Royal 2 and SnakeBite have got a couple of kills. He's quite happy to wait for a teammate to punch it home. It goes in, and FaZe Clan have a 1-0 lead in the series.
Yeah, about that CTF forbidden. What a performance we just saw from FaZe. Thinking that maybe Complexity had a chance. It's one of the worst CTF games for FaZe, but it just shows for world champions, even one of your worst game types can still look like one of your best when you play it like that. It was calculated perfectly. It was overshield, push, grab flag, kill everyone, take it back 3 times. Unbelievable what we just saw.
Well, it was Mikwin on the desk a little while ago, and what was his famous quote? Our best is better than your worst. Well, it's something like that, even if you jumble up the words a little bit. Even when FaZe Clan are playing on a map that's not particularly strong for them, they can still show up and show out with a performance like that, and they were absolutely clinical, Dan.
I think that we spoke about how Complexity might be able to, surprise FaZe Clan, some sneaky routes, but if you give up top middle control, if you give up that overshield, that's what's going to happen. There wasn't enough contest at the top of, at the top middle for that overshield. It allowed FaZe the freedom to pretty much do whatever they wanted, and as soon as they had that overshield, they all pushed together as a unit. What I also like is when they got that flag back towards their base, they didn't overcommit to the flag. They accepted it wasn't going to be a guaranteed cap. Instead, they kept Frosty in a position with a sniper rifle, for example, and they said, look, we need to make sure we slay successfully. If the slays don't come in, we are still in a position where we are holding some of the big positions in the map. We're not giving up that map control to try and desperate this flag.
And that is maybe a criticism that's fair. Complexity just did not have enough presence on the map, and when you do that, like you say, they will give up overshields, they will give up advantages, and you cannot do that against FaZe.
Complexity got outslayed 36-17. That was the most one-sided forbidden game I think I've ever seen, apart from matchmaking when you're on my team. And I genuinely believe that FaZe have been working very hard on this map and mode from what I've just witnessed.
Well, things look to be going pretty swimmingly for FaZe Clan in game number 1. We always talk about the Slayers, we always talk about how they can be a difference in the series. Complexity though, with only picking up 17 kills. Now we spoke about when we criticised FaZe Clan for not being clinical enough against ascending baseline. Well, they showed a little bit something different in that game number 1.
This was clinical, yeah, this was well executed. This was everything the doctor would have ordered for any FaZe Clan fan, really, that's difficult to say. 11-2 from SnakeBite as well, the IGL just making sure that he's stepping up when he needs to. And maybe that's just kind of echoing around the FaZe Clan comms. Just if your leader is playing in that manner, if your leader is stepping up to the plate saying, look, let's turn it up a gear, suddenly everyone else around you is going to be playing in that manner as well.
Confirmation on your screen of what way the series has gone so far. First game, if you're just joining us, 3-0. It was a very quick one. It was very decisive. FaZe Clan making it look easy. Game 2 on the horizon, Slayer on recharge. I think the question is going to be, Dan, is Complexity's play just a little bit too dull to cut FaZe Clan?
I think it might be, especially when we look at Slayer Recharge, which is arguably one of FaZe's best. I mean, Lottie also pointed out Slayer Aquarius, also one of FaZe's best when it comes to their Slayers. And you can really see the difference in 2024 season, how those Slayers have affected both teams. FaZe Clan being one of the best Slayer teams we have in the league at the moment, and for good reason. The way they play these Slayer games is ruthless. If they play anything like they did just on that Forbidden game, I think Complexity are going to struggle to get anything on the ball here on Recharge.
And it's in stark contrast to, we speak about Rayne, we speak about RyaNoob. In year 1, there were many people touting them on that United roster as the best Slayer team in the game. And a couple of years on, meta shifts, and they're just not as sharp as they used to be.
Yeah, it's a very different roster as well, different players that you've got to work with. I will still say, in a 49 versus 49 scenario, I'd still back RyaNoob against anyone. I just think that he has one of those brains, he does think outside of the box, and he's not scared to take risks. But you've got to get there first. You need to get to that 49-49, which, against FaZe, I'm unsure whether you're going to have that opportunity. If they control the camo like they just did with the overshield, this could be a very one-sided affair.
Could be bad news, Bears, if Complexity do not wake up and show us something that they haven't shown so far. A little bit of fight, a little bit of map presence as well. Game 2, though, seconds away from starting up. Frosty, Renegade on your screen. Those two in tandem can be deadly against almost anybody. But do Complexity have an answer to the aggression that FaZe were able to show in game 1? This is a good start. Complexity have camouflage.
Yeah, starting strategy far better here for Complexity to be able to pick up the power-up, and now there's a chance for RyaNoob to do something with it. You could see SnakeBite's POV. He was already starting to maneuver himself to try and find that camouflage, but gets punished for doing so. And now RyaNoob has the chance to kind of open up the map a little bit, gain some presence for the rest of the team, and maybe get a kill or two.
Why doesn't he just pretend it's 49-49 all the time? Drops down bottom elevator. Didn't really have the impact the camouflage you would have liked. Ended up trading in the end. It's FaZe who hold 2-kill lead. Shock rifle in their hands. Camouflage is no longer an issue, no longer a problem. When Renegade's got this in his hands, he can really make some inroads into the enemy faces.
Yeah, we talk about Frosty playing well with a sniper rifle, but you mentioned it. You give it to anyone else, the shot is still going to be very dangerous in the hands. There might have been a couple of missed shots there for Renegade, but it doesn't matter in the end. There's a team working together to push here over towards Elevator. A couple of big kills from Complexity to get them back into it, and if Renegade can't secure this one, Complexity will have made it 3 kills back-to-back, but just out of nowhere, SnakeBite turns up to assist Renegade right off spawn, and that's what FaZe do at their very best. They are very quick to assist one another here.
RyaNoob trying to get close, trying to get a trade, perhaps does manage to do so in the end with the help of a plasma grenade. Royalty was going looking and sniffing for the shock rifle, and you can see it. Look, where is it? Where is it? Drawn to it like the ring. Unfortunately for him, it's no longer in play. RyaNoob pushes over towards tower. Renegade's got the backstab, gets the kill as well. And FaZe are taking up positions, just catching the Complexity members off guard.
Next camouflage is now coming up, and yes, Complexity got it off spawn, but how are you about wrestling map control away from FaZe to try and get the second one? Because if you give that away, if you start to give control to FaZe Clan here, they will run away with it. It's already a 6-kill advantage, and Complexity just struggling to stop FaZe from being able to accelerate here in this game as Frosty's found a camo.
SnakeBite up on bat ledge, just trading positions with a teammate. Frosty still sitting in that corner, so perhaps either he's making a really, really sneaky play or he's got some issues.
Yeah, it might be an issue there. We'll, of course, get it checked out, but at the moment, players still playing whilst admins take a look at it. But it was a 6-kill lead when we did see it happen, as the game is going to be restarted, and we'll get that one sorted out. But FaZe Clan, I mean, looked pretty good. The early camouflage for Complexity, but still didn't change things really too much. RyaNoob not being able to take full advantage of it, got caught out in the end because the camo disappeared. They do exactly the same thing.
Do the exact same thing because they're like, there's no way they're going to do the same thing again. That's when you get in there and get the camouflage. We did see RyaNoob scoop it up, pop into his chest, but he wasn't able to put any points on the board. And that is where the difference is. They've got to start turning those advantages into tangible advantages, getting them kills, putting them on the board.
Well, thank you everyone for bearing with us as we got that one sorted. As Shudzy said, it'll be 17-11, and I'm excited to get this one back underway and to get some energy back in the room. It's shields up, it's weapons hot, and we are underway here.
Rocking and rolling on board with RyaNoob. Didn't go for camouflage this time around though. Kill assist for him. 2 members of FaZe do fall, and I have heard the camouflage pop somewhere. It's about trying to track that one down. 3 down go FaZe. A good start from Complexity.
Yeah, Complexity closing that gap to just 4 now. But FaZe Clan instantly answering back as expected. Renegade, as I watch Renegade more and more over the years, and you know, I tweeted out a fun fact today that 7 years ago, last weekend, we were in Atlanta watching Renegade compete, and he was able to win here under Splice, and now he's on this roster to try and win once again in Atlanta. But he is so good at being quick to his teammates to finish off kills. He will not let a death get away. He will not allow a player on one shot to escape. Sometimes that can be to your detriment, but I think in a game like this, it's very important to have Renegade in that position.
Good news for Complexity fans. Frosty and Royal 2 do not have the shock rifle. One small point to bring up is Renegade does have it. So take from that what you will. Breakingshot over towards Elevator, almost got his face ripped off, but just about got his pixels out of danger before it became a real problem for him. And just timing becomes a problem. 2 players push. Rayne could be about to get the business as well, and of course he hits the shot. Double kill for Renegade.
Again, it's the confidence to be holding weapons like this. We noticed it against Ascending Baseline. Any of these FaZe Clan players, when they have a sniper rifle, they are more than happy to take the fight. There is no thought about wasting ammo in this situation, which just shows how they feel about this one. Renegade not able to get it done in that particular instance.
Breakingshot, really getting a chance, an opportunity on these bigger teams, and a lot of pressure on his shoulders. No longer playing in the Passion Pit against some of the other better AMs. He's getting his chance, getting his opportunity, and RyaNoob is trying to find another gem in the rough. Diamond in the rough, that's the expression.
It's diamond in the rough, but I mean, diamond is a gem, so it's okay.
Yeah, it kind of works, right?
It's definitely better than firing one cylinder.
That's a really bad engine, I'm going to be honest. That engine's not going very fast or far.
5 kill difference. FaZe still hold on to the lead, and of course closing the gap towards that 50 mark already. But Complexity just staying within 6. As I say that, it becomes 5 once more. Big double from RyaNoob, and it was the camouflage again. FaZe have not been able to get as much control of this power-up as they did on Forbidden.
Frosty top elevator. Where Royal too likes to call home when he's doing some of his best work, big fan. RyaNoob over towards glass. Just biding his time, waiting patiently for the rest of his team to do damage so he can make the cross. Waiting for Royal 2 to get down to no shields, but RyaNoob really needs somebody to back player's elevator down, because he will not be able to make that cross without taking an extreme amount of damage. Huss managed to make his way in towards Whirlpool, get a kill, and break the setup. 2 go down, but it's 2 split apiece here. 6 kills, make it 7. The SnakeBite locks in a triple kill. Really trying to put these Complexity boys to the sword.
Again, ears to the ground for SnakeBite, just listening to where those one-shots are, where those players are weak, and just making sure he cleans them up. I said about Renegade ensuring no deaths get away, but SnakeBite makes it 3 of them, and that is so detrimental to Complexity's chances in this game. If you're not able to escape, if you're not able to survive, how are you possibly able to get back into the game? SnakeBite's going to maybe put a killing spree on the board, which he will. 42 to 34, and I think this one might have just got a little bit too far now for Complexity. This is going to be a struggle. There is a lot of control for FaZe on this map.
Has this one been put out of reach? We've seen crazier comebacks. It doesn't happen very often to FaZe. Rayne slowing things down, sitting top tower, perhaps trying to set a trap. RyaNoob's got there too. They're going to make the rotating towards blue now. Renegade's just dropped off C plat. They've made the full rotate towards long haul, but is that only out of the frying pan into the fire? Camouflage, shock rifle for Renegade. Not even going to use a bullet, going to use his elbow instead to secure the kill. 3 required for FaZe Clan.
Notice how they used the camouflage as bait there as well. They saw it was coming up. They knew Complexity would try and make some sort of play for it, and they waited for the push and then took full advantage. And now they're rewarded with the camouflage and a shock, and this one's going to be over.
Double kill locked in, 1 more required then. Frosty could be about to get it. He just didn't look to his right. All for nothing though. A trade comes elsewhere. And FaZe Clan now 2 to the good and 1 away from a clean sweep.
That makes it 4-0 on Slayer Recharge for the season then, and we're starting to look at one of FaZe's better Slayer game types. And I think if you are an opposition looking at a series layout in the future, you want to be avoiding both Forbidden CTF and Slayer Recharge from what I've seen so far. I do like how it's a different approach though. FaZe in Forbidden, it was all about getting that overshield, utilizing that overshield, dominating the map. This time it was actually saying, we are okay giving up that camouflage as long as we have map control and we're just very aware of our surroundings. RyaNoob did pick up a few kills with it, but at the same time, they didn't gain any map control, did Complexity. It was just a few kills to get them a little bit closer, and then FaZe still had control of the entire map, and they took full advantage of it.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that point up. It's like they give up the camouflage and perhaps they might give up a couple of kills, but they see that as collateral damage. Of course, we can give those up as long as we have some semblance of control. We can't really be hurting all too much.
It's almost like giving it up to begin with to get the reward later on, because you keep giving it up enough where you get so much map control that they're on staggered spawns, that they then have to do something risky to try and get the next camouflage, and you're in position with so much control, you get free kills, you get a free camouflage, and that's how it went down for FaZe, and it was another dominant performance for them. And Complexity, it's not looking great for them here against the world champions, but for FaZe, I mean, this is what we needed to see, really. I think if you're a fan of FaZe Clan, if you're here in the arena, you wanted to see FaZe Clan at their very best, you want to see them 3-0ing teams like Complexity.
Yeah, going to do their confidence to World of Good, and I think for Complexity, it's almost the other side of the coin, because they're looking a little bit dejected. They're not really talking too much, not communicating with one another where it went wrong and what we needed to do. And you really, if you want to cause an upset, you want to get a reverse sweep going, you need to have someone behind you just giving you a little bit of gas. Again,
it's just, I don't think there would have been much expectation from Complexity to be winning this series. There's always going to be that what if. Like, is there going to be that opportunity that maybe we take a game and maybe we get that unbelievable win and actually beat FaZe Clan? But as soon as you lose that first game, and definitely after you use that second game, everyone in the back of their heads is starting to think about, all right, when's the next one? Which is the team we're going to play from the open bracket? Who are we going to have to beat to try and secure second place in this pool?
It is, of course, worth noting that Complexity did get the job done over ascending baseline EU, so even if they lose this, are currently 1-1, which still puts them in the driving seat, well, at least in second position anyway, in these pools to progress. They are in the passenger seat, and they will, if they can beat the open bracket team, which will be no mean feat because we know there's some cold-blooded killers in the open bracket, but if they can get the job done, they will still remain in the upper bracket.
Well, Oddball Streets is where we're heading for match number 3, and if the first 2 maps have been anything to learn from here, this might be pretty one-sided as well. We know that FaZe Clan love to control any sort of map that they get a chance to here. They have historically struggled sometimes with Oddball, so perhaps that is a little bit of a silver lining for Complexity, something to go off, maybe that tiny ounce of hope that they could possibly want to try and get back into this series. But I think realistically, we are witnessing a very fine FaZe Clan in some of the best form of their tournament lives.
Yeah, I think FaZe Clan's biggest threat in this series really has to be complacency, right? It's not complexity, it's complacency.
Yeah.
They've seen how easy game 1 and 2 appear to have been, that they maybe take their foot off the gas and overlook complexity, and that's where the series gets a little bit more spicy. But like you're saying, with Oddball Streets, this is not particularly one that they give up too easy.
And I think this is what we expected based on what we saw already today. I've got notes of FaZe made it look easy versus Ascending. I've spelled that EZ, by the way, not EASY,
GG.
just to try and keep with the kids. And on the other side of Complexity, they went to a game 5 and they made it look difficult. And if you then combine both of those performances into a series, this is what you would expect to see.
Yeah, it's something that doesn't jump off the stats screen, right? It's the eye test that we can talk about. Complexity struggling in the early game, FaZe Clan not really struggling whatsoever. And I think the outlook on this series is going to be that, yes, we might lose this one, but maybe we have bigger fish to fry, or smaller fish to fry elsewhere.
I think what's important is you could put FaZe Clan against any other team in this tournament, and the way they've played those first 2 games, they would probably still be 2-0 up in this series. I think SSG would have struggled against them in that Forbidden game as well, with the amount of control, with the amount of dominance that FaZe were able to put on the board. Games might have been a little bit closer, but I think FaZe are being a little bit ruthless with their approach at the moment. They're not allowing anything to slip through, and there's been very little, if any, mistakes so far.
At some point, I'd love to get a listen in just to figure out what way they're communicating, and is there some passion in there, or are they just going about this as business as usual, Dan? Because that's the way it's looked. It's been clinical, and they've given up very little scraps.
Yeah, there's not been anything really to get excited about for Complexity. There's not even been a multi-kill to grab onto and try and get hype for the rest of their team. They have been pummeled into the ground by FaZe Clan. We'll have to see whether maybe Oddball Streets can offer them something a little bit else here to get belief back in their brains.
They have the lead, though. They have taken the lead. So things to build on, things to work with. As Breakingshot soars forward with the Bulldog and doesn't do a whole lot with it, unfortunately for him. Ball has been dropped. RyaNoob recognizing that numbers not in their favor. We are on board with the General. He's usually the one that gets loud and communicates with his team. He's the IGL. Let's see what they're saying.
Are you going to push time? There you go. Tarjan. Back tower, still back tower. Tarjan, yeah, Shotty on Shotty, Rayne. I'm trying to bait for you, John. Agent, 2 Agent, 3, maybe 3. Tires on me, Tarjan. I got 1, John.
Yeah, they know him.
Yeah, John's kind of in the mix here.
Tires. Tires and back A,
I can alter for John here. Yeah, we can John.
Hear that?
Back A up.
I'm nading back A. I'm going Shotty. We're spawning Shotty.
Yep. Shotty guy bottom A. I'm running above you. They're gonna flank us.
Back A weak, Rayne.
2. Another one, I'm dead. 2 on it, 2 on it. I think one of those guys had Shotty.
Trying to live. He's mid map on me. Agent, hear that? I'm playing mid a little bit here.
You're purple.
Soccer up in like 20.
I'm gonna hit purple. John are gonna hit purple.
What's Cafe?
Be dead end, Matt.
Here you go. Here you go. 1 hit Cafe. Breaking shots, 1 hit.
Dead end.
Okay, back
Back A dead.
Hit him with the need.
You did it.
Two dead. Absolutely. Nice.
3. He's back A still, guys? Back A?
All dead. Two dead. Yo, I'm already going at B. Yep. Camo on 20. Camo on 20.
Enemy has the ball.
They don't know, Matt. They don't know.
Okay, I'll have your girls.
Go. There's Soccer.
They're nading down Ivy, guys.
They could go up B stairs,
Go
though.
if you want to hide.
Camo on 50.
Top seat.
Half red. Or like absolute. I got one.
Alright, I'm going down this way. Top Ivy still, bring it down.
One drop. Nice. Drop in B steps. Camo 5. Nice. You just tell him. He's Soccer. Tell him. Yo, Matt, they're spawning right him, okay? Spawn him right him.
PD guys, PD.
Okay, move all then, John. I'm gonna chow right him.
I don't know if you can catch that.
I am. John is shoddy.
Yeah, I got ball.
2B. One in arcade. One in arcade. Breaking shot. Nice.
Stars with camo.
Shoot it. Shoot it. Rayne, last guy.
Yep.
There's definitely a gap. Yeah.
Trying to help you, Matt.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Sweet.
I got weak on him. Holy fuck. Yeah, I'm going to be.
Should be PD, guys. Should be PD.
Yeah, I'm gonna be.
John, you're still a player life if you need to.
I'm gonna PD. Yeah. They're gonna spawn there again, man.
Point for me. Stalker's on ring.
On me.
Dead.
One's agent dead.
Fires on dead.
Agent going.
One B weak.
He's in the window. He jumped out.
1B.
On you, Matt. One in on Matt.
B-Balk right now. Nice. Challenge. B-Balk.
Here, PJ.
I'm good with the ball.
Yo, 2 B-Balk. They spawn there. Yo, Mando and 2 B-Balk. Mando and 2 B-Balk.
Trash weak, John.
Mando kill me. Mando was.
Yeah, Matt, I'm gonna try to move ball.
Hey.
I'm just getting out with this, man. I'm getting out with this.
More trash. Yo, trash and going one tires.
Nice fucking rotate. Good shit.
One tires, 2 B series. Yo, they're all B.
PD, go back to cafe.
Yeah, I will.
Nice shot.
Nice shot. Yo, top A, John, top A. Hey, on me.
Bring the ball C.
Go on.
They're all A.
Yeah, I got one.
No, you're in A, John. You can bring the ball.
Agent now. Yo, another one on me. I got one. Another one, agent.
No one there.
Calling.
Can't see him, Matt. Can't see.
It's on PD.
Yo, we spawn PD. Yeah, PD on you.
1B.
Be back.
Yo, can we check
Can't move ball.
Check bars for weapons?
Hey.
Then one's back. See me?
Shotty's 20.
I'm waiting for soccer. See that? Yo, John. Yeah, behind you for sure. I'm looking at you. I think you went B, John. Yeah, can you kill this guy?
I left you.
Oh, he's full.
Shotty's up in like 10.
Is that music, bro?
Yeah, I'm giving
I'm
you
gonna play up with left. I'm gonna play up with John.
Shotty very soon.
I heard that.
Yo, agent now.
I'm
here. Rayne's one hit, another one there, John. One hit.
Yo,
on
Matt, can you bring ball to me?
Yo, Cam,
They're gonna have shots.
I'm gonna push out.
You're steps right now. Ivy. Top Ivy right now. Top Ivy.
One shot, B-steps.
Bottom C as well, Matt. Bottom C
Hey,
as well.
one B-steps. Yo, B-steps again.
The FaZe clan boys locked in, lasered it would seem. Communication is flowing between all 4 members of the team, and some of the rotations we've seen, SnakeBite looking like a Harlem Globetrotter rotating from A to C, C to A, and they just couldn't get close. Complexity were chasing shadows.
Spinning the oddball on his finger and everything. And not surprised, listening to FaZe Clan, I mean, it's about where players are going, where players are going to be. It's not just, he's here, he's on me, he's one shot. Instead, it's about where is the player going to end up on the map? Who is going to be at threat? Where could they push? Where could grenades arrive? There's so much to dive into from that listening, and is one of the kind of best listenings you can go into to learn about the game and what is required.
RyaNoob making what can only be described as a misplay with the camouflage, somehow managed to die without getting the trade. And kills like that start to go against you, you're in real big trouble, it has to be said. Royal 2 though, gets close, gets Rayne, 2 dead. Breakingshot and Rayne in the grave, Royal 2 and Renegade also there too. Breakingshot spawning over towards PD, puts a couple of shots, or tries to at least, into SnakeBite's back, will eventually get the damage there, shields will be popped. Ball not in the hands of anybody as we speak, but it's a point advantage for FaZe Clan, but it's not unsurmountable for Complexity.
But notice how when we went back to the start of the game, or if you think back to the start of the game, Complexity had a decent lead. FaZe Clan didn't panic, they didn't worry. Instead, they kind of plotted of how they were going to break that setup. Ever since that moment, Complexity have not been able to wrestle any sort of control back to get that game back on their hands. Instead, it's been FaZe kind of moving the ball away from them, just keeping them at arm's length, and now they're closing in on going 1-0 up here in this round.
Frosty not happy to hold the ball, still going to try and do damage. Recognizing that the game's still not done and you can't be too complacent. 4 dead for Complexity, no need for complacency. This round is done and dusted. FaZe Clan will take a 1-round advantage forward to carry along with their 2-0 series lead. They are in cruise control.
I think one of the biggest questions we had coming into this series is how are FaZe Clan going to look compared to what we saw in London? And I think we are learning a very valuable lesson that FaZe are here to play and they are looking very much in fine form. Yes, okay, Complexity aren't the SSGs and the optics of the world, and even the Shopify Rebellion from what we saw earlier, but I still think this is an impressive performance that had to be on display for us to believe that everything was still good in the camp for FaZe Clan. They're currently leading 45-31 in slays, so they are really dominating this game.
Not showing any evidence of slowing down at the moment. 2 kills go in their favor. SnakeBite picks up the ball. It isn't the first time we've seen that so far today. Renegade rotates over towards Cafe and Camouflage scooped up as well. Bulldog to play with. And you're taking this dog for a walk. Rayne's in big trouble. The bark hurts, and the bite hurts even more. Huss will try and do damage to that Camouflage player, but ultimately steps away, and that means that Renegade can move forward once more. And here comes SnakeBite, spinning the ball in his finger up towards C.
Yeah, an early lead for FaZe Clan. I mean, Complexity had the early lead and FaZe were still able to win the round. You'd have to imagine this is going to be so tough for Complexity to wrestle back control. Only 31 kills for them right now. 8 for every single player, actually, as we total up 32. It looks pretty, but it is not going to help them win this game. They need to have a little bit more control of the map to stop FaZe from being able to move this ball around so comfortably.
Renegade tosses the ball out, ensuring that if he does fall, it shouldn't mean too many points for Complexity. Goes back to garbage and scoops it up, and he's got teammates in hand if he needs them. But they've got slays in their favor. Frosty's fallen, but 2 members of Complexity have gone down. Make it 3 as Rayne's the latest one to join his teammates. Huss, the last man standing, over towards the cafe and looking to check out. Closes, check at that. SnakeBite comes over, and he's looking for a tip.
They were temporarily 4 dead again for Complexity. I think we really have to give credit to FaZe of how they played this one. There was always that worry of complacency, but it has not been evident at all. And instead, it has been a dominant performance. And looking forward to the rest of the tournament, if FaZe can play in this way, I would be worried if I was the likes of SSG or Optic, Shopify Rebellion, who are the main competition for FaZe Clan in this tournament. As for Complexity, they probably need to look at competition that's a little bit closer for them now. How are they going to fare against the likes of Sentinels, for example? How will they play against a Shopify Rebellion if they're going to come up against them? But first and foremost, it's about that open bracket team. Do they get a Mind Freak? Do they get a Native Gaming that come into this pool, for example? It could really disrupt things for Complexity. So the job is not done in this pool just yet.
Still some work to do. So far, FaZe have been clocked in, and they've been going to work. Royal 2 locks in a kill onto Rayne. Camouflage player in front of him down to no shield, and Royal 2 is happy to play this one nice and slow. Not going to chase it. Doesn't need the kill. 80 seconds with Complexity yet to even see the ball.
100-0 would be a nice way to finish this one out for FaZe Clan in one of the most dominant performances we've seen on a Friday in quite some time from them. Only 14 seconds required now, and FaZe still holding this ball. SnakeBite still moving it around. They are not getting complacent whatsoever. They want to get this job done. They want to get it done quickly. Finally, Complexity get their hands on the ball, but is it just a little bit too late here?
Is the time they're picking up now a little more than a consolation? Or are they going to make an incredible comeback? With the way things have been going, the way it's been shaken out, I wouldn't be backing against FaZe here from what we've seen. Frosty up towards Tyre as he goes, gets a simple clean-up. Does lose his shield, but has a teammate on hand to push forward, and maybe he can carry up and follow up on that damage. Rayne receives 3 shots from Frosty's bandit rifle. RyaNoob's there to bait and switch. They have got a kill, but they're not getting time. They're not closing the gap.
It's like a science class watching FaZe Clan just dissecting Complexity every time they do get any sort of ball control here. Able to just push their way into certain routes, certain avenues to open Complexity up, get that first kill, and then push through to get the remainder to then retrieve said ball and get control of their own. RyaNoob, last remaining player, the last stand, the last hope for Complexity in this game.
SnakeBite's pushing forward. RyaNoob still in the PD, crying for help. Is anybody going to answer the call? Certainly Gondor's not going to. He falls. Royal 2 is behind the desk. He's not doing paperwork, I can promise you that. Huss will fall. Double kill for SnakeBite. He's looking for more, and he might get some too. Triple kill locked in. And that's such as the experience, such as the professionalism of the man. He doesn't even want the over.
Doesn't even look for the over. He says, let's just get this one done. There might be that dinner reservation that Wes Clutch was talking about, as 97 does tick on the clock, but SnakeBite says, I just need one more on the board here. It's been dominant. It's been impressive. It's been well calculated. It's a 3-0 for FaZe Clan here on Friday in Atlanta. Complexity just couldn't touch it.
Game, set, and match. FaZe Clan in fine form, in pool play. And tomorrow they'll look to the open team that will join them. But they will not be fearing anyone right now.
Very impressed. I mean, I watched FaZe Clan already in the Bravo stream, and I was impressed with how they were playing, but I was like, they look a little bit shaky, a little bit complacent, maybe aren't communicating well enough. They were maybe playing at 70%. We are starting to see them. You just turn it up one more notch. A gear has been ascended here, but I still don't think they're at their very best.
I was going to say, you said
that's
8%, like it was 71%.
I mean, honestly, I think that when FaZe are at 100%, everyone in this room would be terrified. But they are unbelievable, and that was one of the best performances we've seen on a Friday in quite some time, Lottie.
Yeah, they haven't put their foot off their gas pedal at all since London, and it has been showing. I think in terms of what you were saying there, Dan, it was interesting to hear kind of, you know, what they're like at the beginning of a tournament, what their day ones look like. And we all know that that pool was definitely the easiest one that they could have gone into, for them especially. But it was sometimes that we see with some of our top teams how they kind of fall short on that. They kind of do get very complacent, like you said. It's nice to see them back on top, and especially going up against complexity. You got to take these guys seriously. Seriously, they did, and seriously, it looked very, very good, Wes.
Yeah, they didn't play with them with their food too much today. It looked like it was strictly business, and strictly business looks like traditional FaZe clan at this point, and they're starting to become consistently a problem for a lot of teams in the scene. Very interested to see them get into bracket play tomorrow, because I think that that's where I'll traditionally learn where they stack up. I think it's actually Pure that's going to come out second in their pool and be a nice test for FaZe early in that winner's bracket when it does formulate, assuming no open bracket teams create some massive upsets, of course. But that's going to be the first series where FaZe look like that dominant against a team like Pure. That's when I think the entire scene starts to get put on notice with how good is this team really.